When you think about Chinese food, one dish that almost always comes to mind is sweet and sour pork. Its bright red sauce, crispy golden pork, and perfect balance of flavors have made it one of the most recognizable dishes on Chinese menus around the world. But how did this dish come to be? What's the story behind its sweet and tangy taste? And why has it traveled so far from its roots in China to dinner tables across the globe? Today, let's dive into the fascinating history of sweet and sour pork, right here on History of Simple Things. To really understand sweet and sour pork, we first need to look at the role of sweet and sour flavors in Chinese cuisine. The combination of sweet and tart is actually very ancient in Chinese cooking, going back thousands of years. Early Chinese cooks discovered that sugar or honey mixed with vinegar could enhance the flavor of meats and vegetables, creating a more complex taste profile. In fact, the earliest mentions of sweet and sour sauces date back to the Tang dynasty, around the 7th to 10th centuries. During this time, cooks experimented with fruit, honey, and vinegar to create sauces that weren't just tasty, but also helped preserve food. This balance between sweet and sour became a hallmark of Chinese cooking, especially in southern regions like Guangdong, where the cuisine tends to favor lighter, brighter flavors. Sweet and sour pork as we know it today traces its roots specifically to Cantonese cuisine. Guangdong Province, located in southern China, is famous for its fresh ingredients, quick stir-frying techniques, and bold but balanced flavors. In traditional Cantonese kitchens, cooks often used vinegar, preserved plums, and fruits like pineapples to create that perfect sweet-tart balance. Pork was a natural choice of meat, since it was widely available and relatively affordable. By deep-frying pork and coating it in a glossy sauce, Cantonese chefs created a dish that was visually appealing, flavorful, and easy to share at the dining table. The original version wasn't as neon red or as sweet as the versions many of us know today. Instead, it had a more subtle sweetness from natural ingredients and a tanginess from vinegar and fruits. Now, you might be wondering, why is sweet and sour pork often such a vibrant red? That eye-catching color comes from ketchup and red food coloring, but those weren't part of the original recipe. In the early 20th century, as Chinese immigrants brought their cuisine abroad, they adapted their recipes to suit local tastes and available ingredients. Tomato ketchup, which had become a pantry staple in the West, provided both sweetness and acidity, making it a convenient substitute for traditional ingredients like hawthorn or preserved plums. Over time, ketchup became a defining element of sweet and sour pork, giving it both its bright red appearance and a more sugary profile that appealed to Western palates. Chinese migration played a huge role in spreading sweet and sour pork. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, many Chinese immigrants left Guangdong and other southern provinces to work overseas, especially in Southeast Asia, North America, and Europe. They brought their cooking traditions with them, opening small restaurants and food stalls to serve both their own communities and curious locales. Sweet and sour pork quickly became a star dish because it was approachable. The crispy pork was familiar to people who loved fried foods, and the tangy-sweet sauce appealed to a wide audience. In America, it became a staple of Chinese-American cuisine, often served alongside fried rice or chow mein. In places like the Philippines, Singapore, and Malaysia, local variations popped up that used different fruits, vinegars, and even fish instead of pork. Sweet and sour pork isn't just food, it's also a symbol of Chinese cuisine abroad. For many non-Chinese diners, it was their first introduction to Chinese food. The dish's familiar flavors acted as a bridge, helping people ease into a cuisine that might have otherwise seemed foreign or intimidating. This role as a gateway dish is why sweet and sour pork has such cultural significance. It represents not only the creativity of Cantonese cooking, but also the adaptability of Chinese immigrants who wanted to share a piece of their heritage while making it accessible to others. Now, let's talk about what actually makes sweet and sour pork so delicious. The dish comes together in three main parts: the pork, the batter, and the sauce. The pork is usually cut into bite-sized chunks and marinated for tenderness. It's then coated in a light batter or cornstarch and deep-fried until golden and crispy. This crispy exterior is essential because it balances the sticky sauce that comes later. The sauce is where the magic happens. Traditionally, it's a blend of vinegar, sugar, and fruit elements like pineapple juice or plum sauce. In Western adaptations, ketchup often plays a starring role. The sauce is cooked until thick and glossy, then tossed with the fried pork pieces and vegetables like onions, bell peppers, and pineapples. The end result is a dish that's crunchy, juicy, tangy, and sweet all at once. Today, sweet and sour pork has become an international comfort food. It's one of the most ordered items at Chinese restaurants worldwide, from takeout shops in New York to hawker stalls in Singapore. In Hong Kong, it's still considered a beloved classic, often appearing on banquet menus and family gatherings. Interestingly, younger chefs have started reinventing the dish. Some use artisanal vinegars and fresh fruit reductions for the sauce, while others experiment with healthier cooking methods like air frying instead of deep frying. These modern twists show that sweet and sour pork continues to evolve while staying true to its roots. So the next time you see sweet and sour pork on a menu, remember that it's more than just crispy pork in a red sauce. It's a dish with centuries of history, rooted in the culinary traditions of southern China and shaped by the journeys of Chinese immigrants around the world. It's a symbol of adaptability, resilience, and the universal appeal of flavor. Whether you enjoy it with pineapples in Hong Kong, with extra ketchup in America, or with tamarind in Southeast Asia, you're tasting a story that connects cultures and generations. Sweet and sour pork isn't just a meal, it's a legacy. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. If you enjoyed this video, please check out our other bingeable channels. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.